Welcome back, everyone. Well, I'm proud to say for the better part of 10 years that we've been involved with an incredible organization right here in Saratoga called Saratoga Bridges. And this is an organization that's dedicated to helping individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And for 8 years running, every year, they do something called the Autism Expo and Art Exhibit. And joining me today are three people really involved with this expo. So we've got a lot of ground to cover. And introduce my guests first. Ladies first. This is Patty Padawano, who is Director of Family Services here at Saratoga Bridges. Welcome back.
Thank
This
you.
is not your first rodeo.
No, it's not.
However, for you, it is. And for you, it is. And this is Isabel Siegel, a Skidmore student, sophomore, correct? Boy, I don't even think I can remember when I was a sophomore. It's a wonderful time, for sure.
Yeah.
And the big dog, the senior.
Yes.
Right? Okay, this is Jesse. Not a lot of us, Jess.
Yes.
Jesse Epstein. I'm going to start with you, okay? You're a student at Skidmore. What are you studying?
I'm studying psychology with the hopes of ultimately obtaining my PhD in clinical psych. I want to focus on individuals, specifically children and adolescents, both with and without intellectual and developmental disabilities, specifically with psychiatric disorders.
So you don't want to go to work for an insurance company?
Probably not.
Yeah, okay. Boy, how about that for dedication, right? I got a feeling you're a little bit ahead of her, but with the same mindset, right?
Yeah, I still have a few things to figure out, but I'm a psychology and religious studies double major at Skidmore, and I'm also hoping to become a clinical psychologist with a PhD or a PsyD, looking to go into trauma and burnout clinical psychology for first responders.
Oh, what wonderful dedication. And if I have it, my mind serves me correctly, you're a psychologist as well, study psychology?
I did. I went to Sage Graduate School and obtained my master's in community psychology several years ago.
Do you know how hard it is for someone in media to be surrounded by brains? I'm telling you right now. Okay, so I'm going to start with some basic questions. That's what we're good for in media, right? I want our viewers to know a little bit more about Saratoga Bridges. Now, I mentioned 60 years, and you've been involved for 30 years, I think you were telling me, right? Okay, so give me a little sense of what Family Services provides under the umbrella of Saratoga Bridges.
Sure. When we started out, it was a very small grant program where we provided families who were caring for their family member with an intellectual or developmental disability at home. And we had staff that went in to their home to give the parents a break, and maybe a few hours a week. And we started out with maybe 20 families when I first started many years ago, and now we're serving over 200 families in a variety of different ways. We provide in-home support, still giving parents that break that they need. We also provide clinical consultation for families. So if a child does have a diagnosis of an autism spectrum disorder, we can go in and work with the families on maybe behavioral needs, maybe there's some educational needs, so we have an educational advocate. We offer a support group for parents. We also offer a wonderful program, it's probably one of my favorites, which is a sibling support group. So typical kids that have a sibling on the spectrum or other disabilities, we, ages 8 through 12. And so once a month we get together with this group and do really fun supporting activities for these kids. And then we also provide workshops for parents on a variety of topics of interest. So it's really grown over the last 30 years since I've been there.
Oh, I bet. I want to cycle back on one of the words you said, support. If you think about it, either we have witnessed it firsthand or have family and friends that have witnessed it, but the diagnosis of autism or being on the spectrum can be very confusing for people, right? It's not like you understand immediately the extent of what needs to be taken care of or how it should be taken care of. And here Saratoga Bridges provides that support. And I can tell you, any of the times that we've been here, I've just seen it firsthand. I've seen the relationship that the people who work here at Saratoga Bridges with the people here, just the way and the bridges, there's the word, right? The bridges that they cross to meet the needs of people. Isabel, it takes a certain kind of person to want to be involved in this, and I see it every time that I'm over here.
Yeah.
And you have this beautiful smile on your face, so I can tell I can really tell that you feel it. What drives you to want to be part of this?
It's hard to put into words because it's
Yeah.
just a feeling. I I mean, I've been involved with helping people for a really long time. Since I was little, I was really interested in psych, actually. I was one of those rare people who, at the age of 3, wanted to be a psychologist.
Great.
Yeah. And so it's an indescribable feeling when you
Right.
are helping someone. And it's not even just, I want to, I guess, backtrack on the word helping, because it's not just helping them, it's also helping me. It's such a mutually beneficial relationship.
Oh, that's wonderful. How about you, Jess?
Well, like Isabel, I've also been interested in psychology for my entire life. Specifically, I've been interested in how people communicate and interact. And 2.5 years ago, I decided on a whim to take a class at Skidmore called Autism and Other Developmental Disabilities. And, taking this class with Professor Rachel Mann-Rosen really opened my eyes to the fact that some people communicate in very different ways than I do. And I wanted to learn more, and I helped out at this Autism Expo 2 years ago as part of a class, and I've been coming back every year, and I can't wait to be back this year. But every time I go, I get to meet more very special people that teach me something about the way the world works and about myself as well as about them. And I think that's always very
Boy,
important.
that is really well said. I'll tell
Thank you.
It really is. And it's the form of communication, and I've seen that many times. So I want to talk about the Expo, because there you have, I think you were telling me, 90 exhibitors?
Yes.
Holy mackerel.
Yes.
That's grown
It
over the years.
really
I think we've
has.
done an interview on this every year.
Yes.
There's Pamela's over there. She's nodding, so I guess I'm right. I want to talk about that communication. I'm going to start with one that we've talked about before, which is music. Right? If you're thinking about someone that might have a disability, that the means of communication is stifled in one form or another. But those gateways into unlocking that, right, that obstacle is seriously important. And I've seen it with music, right?
Yeah. Well, I was telling you before that, like Jesse, I took the same class, which is called Autism and Developmental Disabilities. And for my paper, I wrote about the effectiveness of music therapy, specifically with children on the autism spectrum, and it can transform lives. I remember one specific case study I read about where it was a little girl who had severe behavioral deficits and really strained relationship with her mother, and it was just affecting the whole family. And when implementing music therapy, it just transformed their lives. It changed the relationship between child and mother completely, and it really just allowed the child a way to communicate that really gave her access to more of a normal life.
Well, just think about what that means. We think we might understand what it might mean for the individual, but what about the parent? To understand that breakthrough is possible. That means of communication, that means of seeing something together, working together is something. And again, we can't do this on our own. We always need these support systems to really understand this. Tell me a bit about the Expo, just playing off of that. Other kinds of exhibitors that will be there and information that'll be there.
Well, we have a wide range of people, providers, clinicians at this event. We have recreational and camp programs there, so if families are looking for summer camps. Oftentimes families will try to, look at maybe a local camp within their community, and oftentimes that child may not get the level of support that they need in a typical camp.
Yes,
So there's
right,
a
sure.
lot of camp programs there that this is what they do. There's educational programs, and we go the whole gamut. So there's,
From
elementary,
preschool, right.
high school programs, as well as college experience programs there. We have music therapists there. We have
Yes,
art
sure.
therapists that are there. And they all are going to have a table there, and the actual clinician will be there. So if parents have questions and they're looking for information, they're all going to be there. We have
So, in other words, professionals like therapists as well?
Correct.
Would be there.
Yes.
You're probably noticing in the background, there's art on the wall in the background. It's art that was created here, which is absolutely stunning. There's a whole array of it here. You can't see all of it, but it's unbelievable. And the art exhibit itself, and I recall this from other years,
Yes.
would absolutely stun you. Again, it's communication. We seem to understand the basic tenets of language or something like that. How about all the other ways that we can communicate? How powerful is that? You know what I mean? One thing that's important to note, I remember this from other years too, bring the whole family, right, Jess?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's stuff for everyone at this event, at the Autism Expo, specifically for the kids, siblings, and other children. I mean, yes, we've got awesome music stuff, and a lot of people really respond well to music, like we were talking about. But every person, you know, autism or not, has things that make them tick or things that they enjoy,
Yes,
or
right,
you know,
right,
and
right.
so the amount of activities that we have present, we have face painting and bowling games and, you know, little fishing games and all sorts of fun stuff to keep people busy and having fun and playing, while parents have an opportunity to go take a walk and to go learn more about all the resources that our community and other communities offer.
And that offers a terrific peer-to-peer opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Parents being able to talk to parents, share experiences, share stories and whatever. The expo is April 14th. It's only one day. That's a Sunday, right?
Correct.
April 14th, Sunday, and it's a short period of time. I remember having to explain this other years also. It's only from noon to 3 p.m. So make a point of it now. April 14th, Sunday, 12 noon, Saratoga City Center. You must be outgrowing the city center now.
We're getting close.
I bet, with 90
Getting close.
exhibits.
Right.
And bring the whole family, because there will be an opportunity for the children to be occupied while you can find out information on a variety of issues. I had someone tell me once, after they attended the expo, they went there for one purpose and walked away understanding 3 or 4 other very, very valuable options and course of actions that they might be able to take. And again, it's all because of Saratoga Bridges. Well, Jess, a pleasure to meet you. Great to see you again,
Yeah,
Patty.
same
Isabel,
here.
pleasure to
Thank
meet you.
you.
And boy, you're going to save the world. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
See this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.